always play the victim role, satisfy my need to be right, always feeling so alone.
Traditionally, as human beings, we wake up in the morning, we just want to either grab our phones and begin to check messages. Who has messaged me? Which calls have I missed? What information can I check on social media? But when you get into a space and place of consciousness, the interesting thing that will happen is you will pause that pattern of you functioning in autopilot. So I believe that's one of the vital things that this experience at this great conference will hopefully unpack and redirect us into a space and place of consciousness so that we all can begin to live on the path and pattern that will help us to unpack and unbirth and bring to life our very full self.
Would you share with us, more or less, was there an experience that enabled forgiveness and forgiving? Because I'd like to believe that it's more or less a journey for you. Was there a particular experience that brought you into that place of saying, forgiving and or forgiveness is something now that
And you need to practice.
Yes.
All right, so because I'm entrepreneurial, very entrepreneurial, I like making a lot of money. I look for things that teach me about how to be prosperous. And one of the things that I learned are the 4 laws of permanent prosperity. There are 4 laws, spiritual laws, taught first by Charles Fillmore, but also very proliferated currently by a lady called Edwin Gaines. And when I learned from her that forgiveness was a law, I started to understand the principle of it. So I practice it because I know that there are consequences that I'm holding back from myself by not practicing it. So I do it because I know it's like gravity. If you jump off a building, you're going to come down. So I practice forgiveness because if you don't, you're just holding yourself back. If you understand that it's a law and it's not just something you do to feel better within yourself. And that's my main reason for practicing it and teaching it.
So when it comes to meditation, how long would you say you have been practicing meditation?
I would say it should be around 10 years now.
10 years. Okay, so what's the difference from the first year and where you are seated right now?
Okay, so when I started out, it was a struggle. It was like nothing was happening. It was a waste of my time. And the more I studied and the more I learned, the more anxious I became. Because I started to feel like I needed to get this feeling of peace that I'm reading about, I'm hearing about, but I'm not feeling it. So I felt almost like this was a sham. It was just it wasn't real. And it wasn't until I went to a conference similar to this one, and it's a spiritual conference, but they had reverends there at Agape in California, and they had prayer tents. I'd never asked anyone to pray for me before that time, and I'd never asked anyone to pray for me after that time. And the one thing I asked that lady to pray for me that day, I went into the tent and asked her to pray so I could become aware of my enlightened state, so that I could become aware of peace and joy. And it wasn't too long after that I became aware. It just happened naturally. And I also wanted to become aware, not with the crash awareness. Some people, it's a life crash, and then boom, you finally let go and you become aware. I wanted to have that gradual ease into becoming aware, which is what I've been blessed to have experienced. So that was the over the time. So now at this point, I'm stable. And, I don't vacillate like up and down. I don't say I'm not in the mood to do something. All right? So the moods don't dictate. The mood is there, but it doesn't dictate my behavior. So I rise above the mood and I can choose to what I need to do whenever I need to do it.
My last question to you. When you think about what has happened around you here today, what would you say you would like anybody who is going to watch this to take away from this experience?
To learn about silent meditation, it's the fastest way to transformation. In fact, it's the transportation to transformation. So we're looking for transformed lives. We're looking for changes and experiences that are at a higher, better level. And the transportation to get there is silent meditation. And that's what I'd want our viewers to be able to actually start to learn about. To learn it correctly, though. Because there's a lot of incorrect.
and I like the way you said correctly, because many people view meditation as a religion, even though meditation is not a religion. Some religions are using meditation as a pathway towards achieving some of their goals. But meditation in itself is not a religion.
Correct. It's just like, it's a practice. It's almost like, okay, do you like playing football? It gives you something, right?
Totally.
Do you like, playing tennis, right? There's some benefits you get from enjoying that activity. And meditation is a practice. And when done correctly, there are benefits that you'll receive. And these benefits are phenomenal. They can't even really be described.
Earlier while we were having lunch, someone was trying to talk to me on our table. And I said to the person, and this comes from University of Massachusetts School of Medicine, we are taught that to be able to lower our stress levels when we are eating, we should be present and not talking. Now, and someone was joking on my table saying to me, I notice you are not trying to talk, but I want you to talk. and the person made several attempts, but was not able to get to make me to talk. And as we're talking about this right now, I remember that experience, and just by doing that constantly for a very long time, I've noticed that I don't need to struggle to just eat without talking. In other words, I noticed I've been able to unlearn that, and personally, it's really helped me, and I just like to use that to just thank you for also giving me the opportunity to be in this space, and also see that some of the things I have learned has become of value to me. Because on a regular basis, we actually we find ourselves in that space and place where we are really tested, for some of our beliefs and some of the values that we've begun to hold and develop. And thank you so much.
Hey, man, thank you too, man.